What's up, wealthy family? And we're back once again. Here we go on the 98 Mitsubishi Eclipse. So as you know, in the last video, we tore out that subframe, dealt with some busted up bolts and everything like that, but pretty much got it ready prepped. So we're gonna finish what we need to do today to get it ready to start welding. So there's some interior stuff that we'll go to here in a second, but while we were working on that the other day, well actually today, our new, to us, used Evo 8/9 rear Brembo caliper showed up. So luckily we got these unbroken because the shipper decided to just literally throw them in a box, you know, bouncing off one another.
Well,
but
that may be broken now.
like that. But you know how it goes. We're repowder coating with these. We're having the fronts redone as well, so I'm not really too cared about scratching stuff. The bleeders turn good. They obviously, we're gonna rebuild them, get a new seal kit and all that stuff. So anyway, so today, like I said, we're gonna start welding and grinding and cutting and hole filling on the on the engine bay. But in order to do that, I want to get the carpet out. We're gonna clean up this interior anyways. I'm probably, you know what, going to be selling these seats and going back to some original leather seats if I can find some really good condition ones. I want to make this, you know, a OEM plus, and this is just a little bit too racy. So we have a guy that really wants them here locally, so we'll probably go to that. But
same guy that hooked us up with a bunch of parts, and he actually FaceTime mailed today and got some more parts coming his way. So he's excited, but anyways, it's not too much to just remove the seats and pull the carpet out. Then the interior is pretty much prepped. As you know, we already pulled the center console out and everything like that. We're not going to pull the dash. Dash is in really good shape, so we just don't want the carpet to catch on fire.
Yeah, nope, that's it. And obviously I want to power wash and deep clean and shampoo the carpet. You know, I was going to paint it black and paint some of the gray pieces black, but you know what? I think that's going to hurt the value of the car if I ever go sell this. So I'm going to keep it all stock and leave the gray stuff in there. So let's see what we can do and let's see how far we get. Let's get this interior taken out. All right, so here we are, the interior. You know, it's not too bad. I did start taking apart, you know, this center armrest area. As you can see, it's exposed quite the wiring mess. You know, I had a CD player in there and like old Kenwood or something, and it's got the typical, you know, ricey gauges. Yeah, actually they're not too ricey. They have some proper gauges in here. Nice Innovate wideband, looks like a boost gauge and some type of temp gauge or something. So I'm going to be deleting that. Like I said, this car is staying OEM plus, so not really needed. It'll be on ECM Link V3, but you know, I'll probably keep a wideband or something. I'm not sure where I'm going to locate it. He did have a setup going in here for the center gauge or center vent gauge setup. I'm not going to stick everything up here. I'm going to put an OEM HVAC, you know, vents up here, so keep it all as stock as possible. So I'm not 100% sure I'm going to tuck those, but I'm definitely going to get rid of the A-pillar setup. So otherwise, the interior is pretty solid. So here we are. Let's see what Noah did since I was on the phone.
Jeez.
So I didn't do anything really.
He literally, I mean, he took out a bolt over there or something while you're on the phone. But yeah, I got the seats pulled out.
Looks good.
Seats were easy, actually. The only thing I had a problem with, which turns out now is because I'm inexperienced, is you have to push down on this to move them. So I had to use a wrench to get these out. But anyways, wasn't too bad. This bolt gave me a little trouble. Not sure why, but yeah, everything pulled out fine. Vacuumed it out, which you'll see, and then pulled this out. The only weird thing is that we found was this.
Piece of plywood?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what that's for. If you're watching, guy who had this previously, let us know.
Maybe it just slipped under the carpet somehow, or
yeah, I don't know. But everything's really solid, clean. Yeah. I was talking to Alan. Some of these like little rust spots, we could
surface rust.
Just whizzy it off and throw some primer and white paint on. This doesn't have to be.
But there's no through rust. There's nothing.
No,
like this. This is very clean. So,
beautiful. So.
Especially, you know, the carpet gets wet, you know, being in the Midwest, you're in and out, you know, snow, shoes.
Yeah, I mean, you drop a big gulp of Coke in the back on your carpet. Coke, yeah. I mean, you know, whatever.
There's a little bit of stain, so here's the carpet. So we're going to power wash the crap out of it and, you know, do some shampooing and cleaning and get this. We're going to reuse this. I'm not going to spray it black. I'm going to keep it the original color.
Hopefully once it warms up a little more.
Like I said, those seats, going to probably get rid of those and go back to the OEM ones because we're going to keep this all just OEM inside. As you know, we deleted used to have an 8-pillar gauge set, so I got a new pillar to go up there, pillar piece. And he had eliminated the airbag out there. There's the top of the airbag. But we got a new black airbag, a full assembly, so that's going to pop right in and work perfect. And back seats are in great shape, plastic, headliner. Like, this thing is really clean. Steering wheel's in really good condition. So I'm excited.
Maybe a little Coke on this one, but
yeah, I'm going to get new floor mats. The back of them is all, if you look at the back.
Oh, it's kind of deteriorating.
Yeah, kind of making the little black pieces falling all apart in this one. So
it actually, that's funny. When I was vacuuming that up, it didn't look quite like mouse turds, but a little. Must be that. But there was definitely some mice turds up in here. But
there was some mice turds in there.
Smells better, at least.
But yeah, that's it. So now the interior's prepped. We might have to pull this padding back a little bit, you know, to make sure the welding on the back side of the holes and stuff doesn't get to that. But we'll keep it cool. We're just filling little holes, you know, the little bolt holes. So I doubt it's gonna even be enough heat to hurt anything. We got to pull this interior apart anyways to do the carpet. So might as well.
And we want it to look as close to immaculate as possible. So might as well take that off and make sure everything's cleaned and
absolutely everything is going to be perfect on this. We'll clean up these door panels that are in amazing shape, and you know, I think we have that's the only really thing there. But we got to take this door panel off because we have to replace the door handle. I have billet door handles for this, but we're not going to use them. I actually was able to source a OEM original white door handle. So
our boy brought them.
Yep, our DSM buddy here locally. So other than that, that'll be it. What's up? So it's the next day here, and as you've seen, we got that interior totally apart. Well, like I said, Noah did.
Alan talked to help.
But we're gonna jump a little bit ahead. You know, we haven't started grinding and cutting on the engine bay yet, but we're going to. I think we're gonna start doing it possibly even coming in this weekend. But I want to get the cylinder head off. I want to start getting this engine disassembled, and there's nothing wrong with it. Remember, this came out running, everything's fine with it, it's low miles, so I just want to clean it up. I want to replace all the timing components. We got a set of ARP head studs, we're going to put those in, I'm going to put a new head gasket in, but that's really it. It already has some revised lifters in it, so we'll reuse those, and the bottom end I'm not going to touch. So timing components, head gasket, head studs, and then every single gasket on it. And also I might delete the balance shafts, which you probably don't know what those are, but it might even have it already. But once I get this cover off, I'll be able to tell, and I'll teach you guys what balance shafts are and why we delete them on these engines. So the reason we're jumping to this is because there's possibly a facility, a shop that we're kind of interested in possibly moving into. So the machine shop that we use for our engines is right in the same complex. So we want to go down there, get this head dropped off so we can get it hot tanked and resurface. That's all we're going to do. We'll probably have a pressure check, but I'm sure the valves and the seats are good to go. So so I'm just going to quickly remove the cylinder head so we can get down there, drop it off, and look at that other facility, and maybe we'll give you guys a sneak peek. So stay tuned. All right, so here we go. We got the front timing cover off, intake manifold off, and the exhaust manifold off. So this head's about ready to come off. This upper timing cover is broken right here, so there's supposed to be a bolt hold there. Otherwise, you know, I don't recommend trying to pull these older timing covers off without undoing the front engine mount, because when you do, usually, you know, you gotta try to bend them around and then they end up breaking like that. So like I said, this one was already broken, so don't really care. Looks like this does still have balance shafts in this engine. As you can see, there's the balance shaft timing belt there and then here. So it looks like, you know, all these were pretty much brand new. Unfortunately, since the engine was put together and then sat, you know, pretty rusty on all these gears. So all this stuff is going to be completely replaced. And I'm undecided, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to do that balance shaft delete kit while I have this all apart. Keep in mind, we're fully disassembling it, excluding the rods, pistons, and crank. I'm going to leave that all in as long as everything looks healthy in there, which it should be. And the head, we're going to replace the valve stem seals, resurface, clean it, and then put it back on with the new head gasket, some ARP head studs. So let's get this cylinder head off. We're almost there. All right, so we got the cams out, the lifters, and the rockers. So last thing to do is get these stock head bolts out. They're a 12.12 millimeter, so we'll go ahead and remove those. And then the cylinder head should lift all the way right off. Get it set over there, strip off the last little timing plates and a couple other pieces off from it. And this will be ready to go to the machine shop, get cleaned up, and get resurfaced. So let's get it done. All right, so here we go. We got the head off, as you can see. Looks pretty stock to me, as suspected. So I don't see a, you know, MLS head gasket, just this like Fel-Pro style, which OEM head gasket is this material as well. So I doubt the cylinder head has been off. You know, this looks, you know, quite used. If you would have just put a brand new head gasket on, I think it would look a little bit better shaped than this, because, you know, like the exhaust manifold, as you can see, the gasket looks brand new. It was torqued down and that's it. So I would think it would look more like that. So previous owner, if you did do a head gasket on this, let me know. I'd be interested to hear about that. Let me see. I'm going to try to just turn this over here real quick. You know, it shouldn't hurt anything. See what these cylinder walls look like. I'm sure they're fine, but everything looks fine in there. Yep, so looks like a stock engine with, you know, 80,000 miles on it. So really good shape. We'll get this thing cleaned up. Obviously, I'll be removing all the gasket material off from here before putting a head gasket on it. I can check it with straight edge as well. We'll be putting an MLS Mitsubishi OEM 4-layer on this. And obviously, like I said, the cylinder head will be completely resurfaced, hot tank cleaned, and good to go. So just got to strip off a couple of these two timing plates off here and remove the valve springs and valves out of it, because I am replacing the valve stem seals. So we'll do that real quick, and then let's get this thing out to the machine shop. All right, so got the engine or short block bagged up, everything stripped off from it, excluding the rear main seal, which kind of pain in the butt to get to on an engine stand. So obviously what's left for this is just grind off some of the, well, wire wheel some of the paint off. We're going to respray the block, you know, remove the gasket, clean up the cylinder mating surface, and this thing will be ready to go back together. We got that cylinder head dropped off at the machine shop. We didn't get any footage of that, sorry. We got a bunch of engine parts that we got to bag and tag. We got a bunch on the floor, and then while we were out, we decided, you know, because we're kind of getting a little bit of a pile over here, which it's not just piled upon each other. Well, I guess it sort of is. So we got some totes. We're going to fill these totes up, try to organize over here real quick, and get this thing, because we're going to be cutting, grinding, welding, and painting, and I don't want all that stuff to get all covered nastiness over there as well. So I want to keep the stuff clean and good to go, even though we're going to be, you know, redoing and replacing most of, you know, oil pump and gaskets and stuff. So this stuff will all be like soda or bead blasted and redone and replaced. So other than that, I guess let's just start cleaning up this mess that we got and then hopefully get back on this guy.
All right, guys, that is it for tonight. Actually, for the video, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't really do much on here today. Well, Alan obviously tore apart the engine. We took that to the shop. To have all done, and then we got over here. It was a mess. Now we have
organized. Yep.
Engine components.
This is like chassis and larger components like alternator and compressor. Interior. Yep.
And then over here we've got
that box is.
This box is all the.
That's what we're kind of working on next, right? The
subframe and stuff. Alan's actually taking home.
I put them in my backpack already.
Taking home a big thing of bolts and nuts for everything subframe and suspension related for the front end.
As you know, we got all those new parts already, so we're gonna get the bolts and get it all painted and de-rusted. And
then are you telling him about the micrometer you got? He's gonna measure all the bolts and stuff, and there's a website that I can't remember the name of, but he'll link below.
Yeah, it's just a website that I got through another DSM guy online, and Bellmetric, I think it is. Yep. And so, since a lot of these OEM bolts are not made anymore, so I'm going to get a lot of, they specialize in zinc plated bolts, so probably going to go through, measure all the bolts, and then just get all
new.
So every piece of bolt hardware on this car is going to be replaced brand spanking new. I'm going to do everything under the hood, subframe, engine, and then work our way back. You know, the interior, I'm not going to replace brand new bolts with those that you know, hold on miscellaneous plastics, but those will just be the clips. And then eventually we'll get to the rear subframe, which to, you know, PR 15, this whole under chassis of this car, I kind of want to use a lift for this part back. So we're going to get to here. So you know, obviously this is kind of what we're going to be working on next. We got the subframe, got the bolts, and we're getting the welder this week, and we gotta start moving on this, and that's probably our plan of attack this coming weekend. So probably in the next video you'll see some sparks flying and things catching on fire, and
you might see Alan's friend Jeff up here.
Yeah, and we might have a guest come up, and he's a welder by trade, and help us out with some of this. And it'll be fun. Yeah.
He drives a Mustang, unfortunately.
Funny dude. Yep, with a broken Mustang. So other than that, take care.
Love you, Jeff.
And we'll see you all next time.